Good morning. It's Thursday, right? Holy mackerel. Week's going by, isn't it? We're going to install Fedora 36 on a VM. Do you think we should probably give it more than 4 gigs of memory, though? What do you think? Maybe 8192? Check CPUs. Okay, 4 cores. Be that mess. Let's go ahead and add ourselves the new download. I just downloaded the ISO this morning, so that's why the stream started a little late. Let's see. Yeah, that's the old Ubuntu install. Let's browse that. Let's install this bad boy. So much garbage. Let's see what we got here. It's Fedora, right? Why is it not listed here? There it is. Hey, look at that. Let's do that. Fedora. Magical. All right, let's start her up, shall we? Wow, that was quick. Apparently this uses Wayland, so see how it looks. One of the things you got to keep in mind with Wayland is it's kind of buggy with NVIDIA drivers. Now I know yesterday there's a big brouhaha over NVIDIA open sourcing stuff, but guess what? That isn't every driver, so keep that in mind. That's only their, I think that's only their server stuff. It's not all their GPU drivers. It's not all their OpenGL stuff. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be buggy. Okay, so that's cool. You just click install to hard drive. I don't know if I missed anything there. All right, English. Yep. Continue. Automatic partitioning selected. That's fine. Yep. It's got yeah, we're gonna install that. Yeah, there we go. Automatic. Oh. Is it done? Okay. That's weird. They didn't put the button down at the bottom. It's 13.5 gigs, including 5 gigs. The volume out. Okay. So it doesn't let you just wipe the drive? Okay. What do I have to do? How do you wipe the drive? Okay, Fedora, this is stupid. Do I have to do custom? You get 25 gigs to install Fedora. 25 gigs. What is it talking about? Okay, so there's something I have to do here, I'm assuming, to wipe the drive. Okay, just delete all. Okay, so clear space. Let's try that. That is not very intuitive. Alright, let's try it again. I want to delete this. Delete. Delete. Okay. Now, did that fix it? There we go. Okay. So you have to manually go in and configure it and delete the drives partitions. You can't just automatically remove them. Come on, guys. Learn from Ubuntu. Let you just wipe the drive if you want to do it really quick. Or at least make it make sense. That was kind of weird that you had to go in and set it to, like, manual and then configure it and then delete everything. I mean, I guess. If you want to make it simple, don't make it so weird. But Pop and Ubuntu just have that wipe everything thing going on, which is pretty useful. I guess that can be dangerous to users, but you know, it is what it is. I think you should just let it do it. Give the users the option. Let them wipe their system if they want. Let them be upset. That wasn't intuitive much. Yep, Ted, you're exactly right. That was, I was like going, wait, okay, so I have to think back. Okay, so now I have to think back to, like, when you would do it, you know, like, through, like the old partition managers, like through a non-GUI. Because that's basically what it was set up like. Or it was set up like the really old Ubuntu installer that nobody liked, which is why they changed it. It's just, I don't get it. Like, one of the things we need as a Linux community is we need to have consistency in some of the more basic parts of the processes, so that when people distro hop, they're not completely confused on what to do to just get simple things done. So I don't know. It's just my opinion. I just think that there should be a little bit more consistency. The options to do what one distro does should be an option in all of them, for the most part. Like, as far as like simple stuff like that, unless you're just going to install like a raw installer, like you're going to do just a pure Arch install or a Gentoo install or something. But if you're doing a GUI installer, make it look like everybody else's, so they just come across a consensus on what's good, not just everybody else's, but figure out what's good and then everybody do it. Or advertise that you're completely different and let people know. You need to change it some more. Well, I mean, it's Fedora. I think they're geared towards scientific students, and they're not really geared towards the general community. So I don't know if this thing froze or what, though. This is acting weird. You're not a Linux guy, but you're thinking about it. Well, don't go with Fedora. If you're new, go back and watch one of my videos where I do like Pop OS or Ubuntu. The new Ubuntu is pretty good. The new Pop is really good. I would probably go with Pop if I were you. It's pretty darn good. It gives you the option to install your NVIDIA drivers and all that stuff. So it pretty much will be set up for gaming. Pop installs both 2 different versions of Steam. You can do the flat pack or the deb version. So it's good. Oh yeah, so it wasn't frozen. It's just taking forever to do the install. The guide doesn't, like, the little circle should be spinning. So that's something I would fix if I had written this installer. I would fix it so that you'd get like not only would you have the progress bar here, but this little circle would spin. So you knew it was continuously going, because I wasn't sure if it was frozen or not. And also you can't see, I can't click here. So I can't click here to see the progress, right? Like I can't see what it's doing, like terminal wise, and that would be cool to see that. So there should be something there for that. Yeah, Ted, check it out. I certainly wouldn't recommend, like a lot of people say, to like go to, if it's your first time jumping into Linux, probably not a good idea to do like Manjaro or Arch or any of that stuff. So just jump in and do like you know, also keep in mind, back up everything. If you're like got a Windows computer, make sure you're not doing dual boot and stuff like that. So I don't know if the install's done. It seems like it is. No notifier, just activities. So no. We already did the install, so why are we opening that again? I thought that was what was already running. Yes, we're gonna quit. Okay, I think we're done. I think it's installed. I think. Yeah, I think it installed it. It just didn't give you any kind of thing, just closed out. So yeah, it's kind of a weird installer. I'm gonna power it off. We'll go into the beginning of the VM. Let's go here. So yeah, I just wouldn't do the yeah, my advice is always, like, especially if you're new, be really careful, because it was, so with Windows 10 and Windows 11, the bootloaders for those are kind of flaky, and they can kind of write over your Linux bootloader, like grub, or if you're using systemd. So if you're doing that, like, basically what can happen is you do like a Windows update, it writes over your bootloader, then everything's messed up, and you have to go through and like reload everything, and you don't have to redo the whole installer, but you have to fix the bootloader, and it's just a pain in the ass if you're new. You don't know what to do, and you're trying to Google it, and you only have one computer, then you're really screwed. So I always recommend, yeah, doing a different disk, or even better, just have like a spare computer and do it on that first to learn how to do it. Or if you want, since you're on Windows, you probably want to get like, what is it? It's not QEMU. It's Oracle VirtualBox. So you can do VirtualBox. This is free, by the way. So you can get VirtualBox on Windows, and you can do an installer on using that. So you can just install VirtualBox in Windows and just play around with Linux that way for free. And I think there's some limitations when you do it for free. I don't know. I don't use VirtualBox anymore, but the only issue you run into with VirtualBox is sometimes it requires special drivers that are on the distro. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and launch this up. Let's see if Fedora runs. I'm assuming it will. Yeah, Windows is pretty locked in about their bootloader because of security. All right, so this is your welcome screen. Welcome to Fedora Linux 36. Okay, so this is our setup. Okay, well, we don't need to send them our location services to Mozilla. Automatic problem reporting. I think that's fine. If we get a bug, I don't care. Okay, so this is usually important to do third-party repos, because otherwise you won't be able to install stuff. Wait, did I? Oh, okay, they are. Okay, so they are enabled. Connect your account to easily access email. Nope, we don't need that. All right, we're just gonna call this Penguin. If I can type today. And we don't need enterprise login. We're gonna do the most complicated password in the world. All right, we're gonna start using it. Let's see how it looks. The excitement is never ending. Do we want to take the tour? Yeah, let's take the tour because, you know, there's nothing more fun than the tour. Let's see how they did. Start the tour, learn about the key features. Press the super key to see open windows and apps. Yes, okay, good. Just type to search. By the way, if you don't know what a super key is, that's your Windows key. In Linux, they just call it your super key. Just type to search. Okay, yeah, so that's basically standard nowadays, right? Keep on top with workspaces. Easily organize windows with the workspaces view. Yep, because it's using GNOME. And you have 3-finger vertical swipes, which I don't have, so I don't have a touchpad, so that's going to be useless. Have a nice day. Okay, so you did everything that Ubuntu did. Good. Okay, so this is obviously terrible. But it's nice that you can right-click and go to display settings. There are still some Linux distros where you can't do that, and I just don't even understand what they're doing with their lives. All right, so 60 hertz. We're using Wayland. Yeah, super key is always the Windows key. Now, that's not true, actually. You can change what key the super key is. You can go here to keyboard. And so you can actually edit the shortcuts. So, just as a heads up, you can always, generally in Linux, you can literally customize everything. But by default, the super key is the Windows key. And you can actually literally change all the settings here. Input source switching, use the same source for all windows. Yeah, we don't want to do it. We don't want to change the sources for super space. So we go to appearance. Let's see if they have, oh, they do have a dark mode now. Look at that. Oh God, that's so much better. Let's just do that. Oh, that's cool. The backgrounds have different different colors for dark mode. So that's a nice little touch. Yeah, it does look clean. If you're gonna install this, I would be very careful with Fedora though. Well, there are a lot of people that talk great about this distro. There are a lot of weird issues with it. If you're gonna use it for daily driving, like running Steam and stuff like that. You can get it all to work, but you're going to be tinkering. And I don't know if that would be a good experience for a new user. We're going to see how that works here in a minute. I don't even know if they install like all the libraries for like something like Steam. We're going to find out. We're going to try and install it here. So let's look at notifications and see what it turns on. So that's cool, but boy, that's a lot of stuff to just be telling you what's going on. Okay, so you can change this just like a normal GNOME. So you can do workspaces on all displays. Yeah, the dark mode looks good. Pretty impressed with that. It's good power. So automatically set yourself to a screen blank after 5 minutes, but no suspend, which is good. Sometimes suspend can cause, depending on your hardware, sometimes it can cause things to lock up. So it's good to not just turn it on automatically so you can test it. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the settings. Everything looks pretty normal. There's not much other than appearance. You can't really change a lot else. And there's our background. So that looks cool. Literally no bar. You have to go to activities to get a bar. So that's kind of weird. I kind of would like to have icons. It's like, I understand because what they're doing is they're just making it so you type in. Well, they should be able to just type in like Firefox, for instance, but you have to click on activities every time to do anything. It's kind of weird. All right, let's see software. All right, so this is their software installer. Let's see what they got here. I got Inkscape, all your basic stuff. Let's see. So I don't see GIMP here. Let's go to create and see if it's got GIMP. It's got Blender. Jesus Christ. Okay, guys. GIMP is like number one for image editing. Why do you have Inkscape as number one at the top here? Like that, okay, so I got Ardora, so that's cool. Ardora is a multi-tracking software. They got Camerama. But they don't have GIMP, like just in the defaults. Now, I'm sure I could probably look it up and find it, right? But, I mean, come on. Where do you even search? Oh, okay, you click here to search, maybe? There we go. Yeah, so there's GIMP. So that's basically your Photoshop for Linux, which is pretty good. You could even, if you're used to Photoshop, you could even install like a module to make it look like Photoshop. It does like all the keyboard shortcuts and everything. I use GIMP all the time. All my images that you see that I do, everything is done in GIMP. I should probably do a video on how to make, how I do the thumbs at some point in GIMP. It's pretty easy, but people might not know how to make words with a, you know, highlighted background and stuff. All right, so let's explore. Let's look at updates. Oh, wow. So it installed Office automatically? Really? That's cool. Yeah, okay. That's useful. And it installed Rhythmbox automatically. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see how System Monitor looks. Still using Macromedia Fireworks. Oh my god. Don't tell me you're using Dreamweaver too. But you gotta say, like, this is actually, I love this about the this particular system manager. I just love the way it looks. It's no BTOP. I actually use BTOP more, but this is pretty cool. I like the way this looks. This basically just reminds me of the old Windows Task Manager, and honestly, I think that was probably one of the better things that came out of Windows was the Task Manager. But let's see. We're going to download the system updates. Let's see how that works. This is just basically a new user experience, right? So we're just going to see what happens when you just first install. Yeah, Dreamweaver was good back in the day. But man, once people went to like once people started going into like Bootstrap and all those kinds of things, it started to become a problem. Right? Like, it was great, and then they just didn't update it to modern standards. They could have just kept updating it, and it would have probably been my go-to. But now I just use code for everything. I just like, you know, you have like VS Code from Visual Studio Code. I use the stripped open source version of code, which we're going to install here in a minute. But we're going to restart and update. Yeah, they're still using Grub. So there are two installers or two bootloaders out there that I know of that people use, and one is like systemd and one's Grub, but almost everybody still defaults to Grub. But yeah, this installer and just the basic UI and everything for this looks really good. I'm not a big fan of them defaulting to Wayland yet. I think everybody should just be sticking with X until all the bugs are worked out with Wayland for new users, and you should be able to install Wayland separate or just have a switch. I didn't see a switch. I'd heard it was trivial to flip it. So I'm going to look and see how hard that is. But if you're using Wayland and you have an NVIDIA card, good luck. Now, NVIDIA just did release some drivers, but it's not all of them, and that could be a problem. So, and that isn't going to fix anything for a while with Wayland, so it's going to be months before we see improvements. I'm not a big fan of NVIDIA. My last NVIDIA card is a GTX 970. I have dual SLI 970s in a computer, and NVIDIA got rid of SLI, and it makes me sad. Oh, yesterday wasn't Pop. Pop was like 2 days ago. I may start doing these daily, but there's not that. I don't know if there's that many distros to really install. And I might start gaming on like my other channel, the Penguin Propaganda gaming channel, which has literally only got like one test stream, I think, right now. So you can check that one out if you're ever bored. But yeah, so I'm going to try and keep up to date on the latest updates and stuff like that on this channel, and then also do Linux installs. And I got a couple more hardware videos I'm doing. But just the editing on hardware videos takes a long time, and I have a lot of other stuff I do for my other life, so I just don't have time to do it. Okay, that's weird. Okay. So this time, when there's no background after the update. You just got a black screen for the background. So the updates were installed, but the background is gone. Got one on the machine, it's a workstation card, the T600. Oh yeah, you might want to Google that before you, because NVIDIA, one of the things that NVIDIA does is if it's an old, the T430 video. Yeah, that was like, that's a pretty popular one. That computer's still running. I use i3 on it, which is like a tiling window manager. And I just got a new battery for it, actually. I ordered like a giant battery, so now it's got like 3 hours of battery life, which for those machines is a lot. It's like 3 or 4 hours straight. So I could actually take it on a plane and fly halfway across the country and have power now, which is nice. So let's look at display settings and see why the background isn't showing. Yeah, it like wiped the background. It like unchecked it after you did the install. So that's weird. So that could confuse people, right? Like if you just had like a black thing, like why is it gone? Yeah, that T430, man, I'll tell you, that's a tank. I bought that thing for like $50 from some guy on Craigslist. And the keyboard was broke. And he like was trying to sell. He tried to sell it for a couple $100s to a couple different people, and nobody ever showed up. And he put it up there for $50 just to get rid of it. And I was like, I'll buy it. So then I just went and upgraded the hell out of it because those machines are just tanks. I mean, the T430 is basically an apocalypse computer, in my opinion. Like you're just set. Like you can do anything with it. There is, if you look on Reddit right now, on the ThinkPad forums, there is a guy who put a 1080p panel in it, like 1920 by 1080. And he had to like cut the bezel out. Didn't do a perfect job, but pretty good. He cut the bezel out and then jammed it in there, and then I had to use some kind of daughter board to get it to work, but I thought that was pretty cool. I actually might consider doing something like that, but if I'm going to do that, I'll do a video on it, and I will probably, if I'm going to do something like that, I'm going to take the bezel out, and I'm going to do it right. I know how I would file that down. I don't know exactly the best way to do it. I'd have to do a couple of tests on some broken ones or something. All the bits are out there. They're so modular. The cockroach. I don't know the cockroach. All right, so we got this loaded. Yeah, this activities thing, having to click that every time is kind of weird. I know that they got it tied to the super key, but I kind of just wish I wonder if I could change that so that you can always have. I would want to have a bar down here or a bar over here or something. You could put a 2K screen in them. Jesus. All right, let's see if there's a bar option. I mean, this is GNOME, you would think. Appearance. There's nothing. Applications. Maybe settings in here? Nope. Two things that survive Armageddon, the cockroach and the T430. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the T430 is sick. It's a hell of a machine. It's starting to show its age, like, for sure. But for just general purpose computing, I mean, I could use it for programming all day long. I have like a foldable Dell that I also use pretty often. It's really lightweight. I use that for like, reading in bed, and it's also got a touch screen, so you can use it for drawing on the touch screen. So I can use that if I'm doing some actual art. But I gotta say, like, the T430, it's just such a tank. Like, you could just take it anywhere. But yeah, I don't see anywhere in here where you add a bar, which is weird. Usually you can put the bar in there. There's no way to drag them. There's no way to change that. See, this is display settings. Is there a way to do it? Maybe there's not. Maybe they just completely disabled it. I don't like it when they completely turn off an option for the desktop. So you're always forced to do it the way they want you to do it. And that's one of the things I've never really been a fan of with Fedora. They kind of do this crap. They do this in Ubuntu sometimes, but they've gotten better about it. But they force you into like one particular setting, and so if you're not used to it, then you're just stuck with this stupid thing that you don't like. But that's weird. So let's see if Fedora has a touch bar or a bar. So now I have to go here to go to there. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can go... Nope. Let's see. Yeah, that's just really obnoxious. All right. How to add a bar to Fedora. Yeah, see? You have to go in and enable it. How annoying. This is the worst video. This is the worst website in the world. What is this, GeoCities? Who did this website? Dash to dock extension. So you have to install an extension. God, that's annoying. Okay. You would think that they would just have that installed by default so you could turn it on or off. Yeah, it's annoying. So you have to go in here and we gotta search for dash to dock. And this is 36, so who knows? Doesn't even exist. Okay, hold on. Let's see if there is one for Fedora 36. Yeah, there's somebody on the forums. I wish they would add this. So you have to do this crap. So you have to literally go in and look it up. See, this is the kind of crap. You should not have to even Google this. It should just be an option in the it should already be installed. That's just absolutely stupid. It's crap like this. Like, and there's no terminal option. Like, terminal should be right here. So I gotta look up terminal. Like, what is wrong with you people? Yeah. So there you go. This is the user experience for Fedora. But that's the whole thing. That's what we got to learn. We just got to learn how it works, and that's why I'm doing this. Is because if you were new to Fedora and you're just like, how do I do such and such or whatever, you can just go back, watch this video, and go, oh, this is how he did it. Jesus Christ, it's taking forever to download this one little file. That's slow as balls. Oh, I think it's updating stuff. 349K. Yes. Okay, so it needs 2 dependencies. I don't know why it would default to no. All right. Oh yeah, the terminal makes sense, right? It's just weird that you have to do all this to get that installed. Okay, so it says it's installed. Now, how do you turn it on? Does it get installed by default? Do you have to reinstall? You have to reboot? No dock option. Okay, that's not intuitive. Nobody knows how this works. God damn. Fedora 36 dash to dock. Fedora forum. Oh, it hasn't been. It's a maternal. Thank you for your information. Installation is incompatible with the current GNOME version. Looks like it hasn't been updated for GNOME 42. It's not compatible, but dash to panel is ready. Okay, it is updated, and it does work. So people are arguing about it, whether it works or not. Okay. The Ubuntu dock branch of dash to dock is updated, works. Git clone. Okay. So I guess we'll try this. We'll git clone it. Is Git even installed by default in Fedora, hopefully? For God's sakes. Alright, let's just do git stuff. Let's see here. Alright, cd. What do we got here? Cd dash doc ls. Okay. So, do we just do... Well, we don't have make... do we make config and then make install? I don't even know. I have not ever installed from source on Fedora. So let's look that up. Install from source on Fedora. Download the file. Do we do anything weird? Use RPM. DNF. Navigate the directory. We got it. Doc configure. Okay. Okay, so it's just your normal Linux doc configure and make install. Okay. We don't have a /configure, huh? Do we just make install? Oh boy. Fedora install from git make sudo dnfy. It just gets git installed. Probably some just weird settings you have to do to set it up. This is all about how to set up Git. I don't need to do that. Fedora install from source. Yeah, they make this so complicated. It should just be /configure. It's usually the script you use. No /configure Fedora. Let's see, something's weird. It's like the package didn't come with a script. All right, let's look at something here. All right, let's just go into the folder that it's at. God damn it, I hate having to click here. It's so annoying. Just want to add a doc. So can you imagine if you were a new user and you wanted to add the doc and you're sitting there trying to figure this out? It's so obnoxious. Like, why they don't just put a doc in the goddamn installer at the beginning is unbelievable. And then you have the thing right here. Let's take a look at this make file. Let's see what the hell's going on. Okay, so why can't I just make install that? I have a make file right there. Am I in the right? Make. Let's see what we got. Style sheet. SASSC. No such file or directory. Okay, so let's take a look at that. I don't know if that's something I need. SASSC. Is that a script that it's trying to run when it's making the make file? So let's take a look at that. There it is. Okay, so yeah, it's trying to use SASSC. So that's what we need to get installed. We got to figure out where you get that from. All right, it's an RPM. It's a wrapper. Okay. So we just do a DNF install SASSC. And you can do it through Snap. So it looks like it could be a Snap, or it can be just regular Fedora. Do you just do DNF install SASSC? All right, let's try that. Sudo DNF install SASSC. Can't find it. Hey, look at that. All right, now let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Make install. It installed, apparently. So that was the whole problem. We were missing SASSC. Well, there we go. So that's how you troubleshoot that stuff. Excuse me. Okay, so now can we go into display settings? Does it show up? Do we open the dock? Once it's installed, what do we do? How do we run it? I mean, it says it installed, but I don't know where it would be. Settings. Is there a dock? Okay, maybe go here. Dash to dock. Okay, so we got it installed apparently. All right, do we have history here? All right, let's go back here. We'll go to the Git repository. Go into settings and change Ubuntu defaults to something standard. I might have to reboot for it to show up. Just downloaded Pop. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think you'll be happy with Pop. It's a lot less of this garbage. I might have to restart. I'm just trying to see if I'm missing something before I do all that. Yeah. Yeah, it says after a git clone, make install, all you have to do is go into settings and change Ubuntu defaults to something standard. So we make install. Clone the repository, we install it. Okay, so there's some docs here. Oh. Okay, so it should be an option here once. Okay, yeah, we might have to reboot. Optional feature available extension settings. Extension is themes friendly. Just bookmark it. All right, yeah, we're gonna restart. Let's see what it does. While that restarts, I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee. Be right back. Got coffee, and we can be upset with this dash to dock thing some more. That's great. Can't use my numpad on the terminal screen. What the fucking hell? What am I talking about? It's weird. Okay. Still doesn't work. Okay, where do we get the extensions page? Okay, so it should show somewhere in a GNOME extension screen. Should be in settings then. There's no extensions. Just gonna go through every click. Oh, there's apps. I mean, it says it's installed. I don't know if I have to run it from the terminal to get it to run. It's certainly not showing in here in any reasonable way. This works in Fedora 36. Yeah, well, we installed that. It didn't do anything. Let's just do it. Okay. Says it was installed. We tried that extension. We'll see. This is so weird that you can't just go in and do something so simple. Yeah, that is very strange. All right, let's see how you access extensions. If this was KDE, I'd already have had this done. It would already work. Alt F2 and then R. What? Local extension was installed by local share GNOME extensions. All right. God, it's so annoying. Local. Share GNOME shell extensions. Okay. Okay, so it's right there. So it is installed, apparently. Let's look at README, see what it says. Installation from source. Yeah, it was built. A shell reload Alt F2 or enter under Xorg or under Wayland. You may have to log out and log in. The extension has to be enabled with GNOME Extensions app or with dconf bash. What? Okay, clone make c dash to dock install. Okay, let's try that. We already downloaded the thing. Maybe I missed that. Maybe that's, you have to do make dash C. think we already did all that when we did the install. But okay, so there is no thing to do that. Has to be enabled with GNOME Extensions app. So I wonder if that's what I'm missing. Extensions Manager. Oh, it's not installed. Well, there we go. There's our problem. So they just never installed it. Let's turn it on anyways. Oh, it says it's on. It says you can't even use it. All right, we're gonna remove this. So I did install it correctly. It just was incompatible, and we didn't have the extensions manager on. All right, so we're gonna get rid of this. And let's see if we can find the one for that one. So the fork for Cosmic works. Okay, so you can't use this dash to dock. You have to use dash to dock for Cosmic. Let's just install it. Look at that. Okay, so that's how you do it. So you have to install the extension manager. Okay. Once you do that, you can literally just go to the GNOME extension screen and then boom, you flip it on and you're good, and it just installs it automatically, and the Cosmic one works. That is, God, that took what? How long did that take? 20 minutes, 15 minutes just to install a dock? So let's look at the dash to dock settings. So you can do it like that. But that's great. It works. So that's how you do it. If you got Fedora, you need the Cosmic. But yeah, that's a huge ass mess. So you can see what can happen in Linux when you're just trying to do like just a regular basic thing. Sometimes you're like, how do I do this? And you look it up in Google and there's like some old version that doesn't work. And then you have to like read through forums to figure out what you need to do. And for something like this, which is just a basic thing that you should be able to turn on and off, they should have had that installed by default and working. But this is my perfect reason why I don't like this distro, is because they do stuff like that. They always force you into their little world, and you have to do what they're doing. And if you're not doing what they're doing, then you have to go and like do a bunch of crazy stuff to make stuff work. So anyways, that's my rant about that. But you can change dash color, so that's kind of cool. Select that. See, that purple looks really good with that other background color. That's cool. Dynamic. Yeah, how cool is that? Make it just kind of like that. Yeah, that looks cool. So there you go. That looks way better. Well, you may say I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. I had to look up how to make install on Fedora because I wasn't even sure. I wasn't even sure what to do. GJS quit unexpectedly. What is GJS? All right, so we just had a crash of some application. What is GJS? Let's look that up. So this is a GJS JavaScript bindings, which is probably this. Because this is using JavaScript to run the style sheets to run it in through GNOME. So this probably crashed it somehow. It's still working, right? But we got some kind of weird crash. All right, so that was that. Let's see how let's see if you can find Steam. I want to see if they have Steam because again, the most common stuff you need to be able to install. So let's see how it does for Steam. It's a worry about Linux. There's loads of versions all competing against each other. All right, so understand this. With the distros, they're just different ways of using it. And if you stick to what the distro wants you to do, you're fine. See, okay, so this kind of bug here, unable to install Steam, is not supported. I think I know why that is. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's because it doesn't have the i386 libraries. So let's look and see. Well, that was the RPM Fusion non-free Steam. Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do. So let's see. Steam not supported in Fedora. I bet you anything it needs like the i386 libraries. Not supported. Fedora 36. I bet you anything. That's what it is. Fedora Workstation Repositories RPM needs to be installed. Which should be by default because I told it to do third parties. So it doesn't actually, it's a bug. It doesn't actually enable the third party repositories. What the hell? So how do we do it? Okay. That is so weird. Enable third-party repositories. Well, where do you go to do this? So if you were to do this, how would you do it? The user must explicitly enable it. Well, that's fine. Give me a button to do it. If it's Fedora third party. Well, why would you list Steam as an option in Okay, this is garbage. Can't install Steam. Maybe I just do a sudo dnf install Steam. You should be able to just go in here and do it. Let's see, third party. Nope. Okay, so you can't just install that. It's terrible. Third-party mechanism. Where do you go to install it? Summary. These are ops enable third-party Fedora workstation repositories packages installed. Repositories disabled. Will be installed by default. But I enabled that when I installed this to the system, so it doesn't make any sense. Fedora third party. This is awful. Oh, update preferences. Oh, no. Software repositories. Do we have to do it here? Fedora Flatpaks, Fedora 36. Oh, x86 64. Test updates. Firmware. I don't see anything blocking it. Third-party repositories, they're right here. So it is turned on. Non-free Steam, it's right there. So it should be able to install. So what is going on? Why doesn't it? Try it again. Unable to install Steam as not supported. Okay, let's just type in the exact error. So it is enabled. And it looks like this is a bug. Alright, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We'll try it that way and see if we get an error so we can see what the error is. God damn it, I want a terminal! Alright, let's see what error it gives you. So it doesn't seem to have any errors so far. At least it found it. A few more days Q&A. This is par for the course for Fedora. I have never had a Fedora install work out of the box well. It's always been a pain in the ass. Since day one. Like, and I mean, I've been using Fedora since literally it launched. I used Fedora to run my... I think I used Fedora to run a Quake 3 server at one point. Like, that's how long ago. I know for sure I was using Fedora as a server for, hey, it installed. So that's what you had to do. You can't do it through the installer. You have to do it through DNF install. So that's really dumb. Okay, so let's see if we actually have Steam in here. It looks like it's running. But yeah, I used Fedora, like one of the original versions of Fedora for an Unreal Tournament 2003 server as well. And that was when Unreal Tournament That was back when Epic Games supported Linux. Which is one of the reasons why I don't really do anything with Epic. Like, I haven't even messed around with Epic Game Launcher or anything because I hate them because they used to support Linux and then they just stopped doing it for some unknown reason. And it used to be great because you could just get, like, I used Unreal on Linux for years and it was just great. But all the other stuff, like the new Unreal Engine stuff, it just is not compatible. I think they got too much in bed with NVIDIA and it just became an issue. So, because they did a lot of stuff where they did special NVIDIA calls, and then NVIDIA didn't want to do stuff with Linux kernel, which is this whole thing about people getting excited, but get excited about it. I don't trust NVIDIA at all. For years they've been screwing over the Linux community, like literally decades. So if they want to get some good a deal with Microsoft, it wasn't Microsoft, it was NVIDIA. It was for sure it was NVIDIA. NVIDIA, like, because they did like a bunch of optimizations just for the NVIDIA video card. And then the NVIDIA driver stopped working as well. So there we go. We're in Steam. So that's good. I'm not going to log into my Steam account here. But I just wanted to see if we could get it installed. Hello, Linux 3D. How you doing? We just went through the most troublesome Steam install I've ever had to do. So apparently in Fedora, if you do try and install Steam from the installer here, it doesn't work. And you just get an error that says unable to install Steam. It doesn't tell you why. But if you do a sudo dnf install Steam, it works. So go figure. I don't understand that mess at all. And there was no dock in Fedora, which I hate. So I had to go in and you can watch the whole video later if you want on the VOD, but yeah, there was a lot of weird, annoying stuff. NVIDIA probably did the deal with MS then. Yeah, you might be right, Ted. That NVIDIA did, well, so what NVIDIA wants to do is they want to keep the stuff, like, they want to keep their proprietary shader algorithms and stuff all proprietary, and they don't want anybody to see it. And that's the issue. Because they want to be able to sell you the software as a service. So that's just the way it is. It's just how they've been running things for decades. And like I say, one of the things that pisses me off is I've got two GTX 970s you need to do on the terminal with RPM Fusion. Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Well, I just did sudo dnf install. I didn't use RPM Fusion, but I got it to work with just dnf install. This was a pain in the ass because I didn't realize they didn't enable extensions. So I did the install, and then I had to go and figure out that you had to turn on the extension, which I didn't know how to do because it wasn't installed, so there was no option for it. So it's just like little things like that Fedora does that drives me crazy. I'm not a big fan of this particular distro. I just wanted to get it installed and get it like set up the way I would do it, just so I knew how it worked a little bit. So we're learning as we go, I guess. But yeah, let's take a look at, I wanted to install VS Code, or not VS Code, but do they have code in the RPMs, NPMs? I want the non-VS Code. Is this it? That's not it. Multimedia post install. Let's see here. Yeah, there's just a lot of weird things that they do that I don't get. All right, so let's see. Is there npm And it's not code. It's not VS Code, but let's just look for VS Code for now. I don't want VS Code. I just want regular code. Ah, of course. So you gotta look at VS Code. What's it called? VS Code, no Microsoft. VS Codium. I don't want the VS Code. I want the... It's just code. Code OSS, that's what it is. Code OSS NPM. Let's see if there's a Code OSS dev. This package contains malicious code and was removed from the repository. So what's the Code OSS? It's DNF, not NPM. What am I thinking? Code OSS. Okay, Fedora project. Flatpak install. Yeah, it's Code OSS, but this is just showing Visual Studio Code. Boy, it is just a mess to find stuff in their stuff. Let's see, packaging maybe, just that. See, they got VS Code here. That does the Visual Studio Code. There's nothing under discussion. They don't talk about OSS code. I don't want to install VS Code. Is it just code -OSS? Alright, so let's look for that. Maybe like that. Do you just do a DNF install code OSS? Boy, they did not make it easy to find stuff, do they? Alright, I'm just gonna try it. We're gonna see what it does. Unable to find match code OSS, so it doesn't exist in DNF. Is there no code OSS for Fedora? VS Codium. That's weird. Okay. There's no VS Codium. Okay. There's Microsoft Visual Code, but there is no OSS code. So do I need to do it from the... Alright, here's what we'll do. If only I could hit LS. Okay, let's see if we can just install from source. It's so weird that you have to do all this. There's a flat hub. So you can do a flat pack install. I don't want to do a flat pack install. Let's look it up on GitHub. See if we can just get code OSS. Where are you at? Oh my God, you got a million repositories. Where's it at? Matching this topics. None of these are what I want. All right, Visual Studio Code. All right, we're gonna try and git clone it. Let's see if we can actually run it. This is VS Code though. This is not what I want. I want OSS code. This isn't what I wanted anyways. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see, Visual Studio Code. This is way too much work to just get code OSS installed. It should be like that. You should be able to just go in, search for it. Last two distros I installed this on, boom, it was done. I have now spent almost an hour and 45 minutes just to install Steam and code OSS. And I still haven't even found code OSS to install for this distro. So I would say don't use Fedora 36 if you're a new user, because this is a pain in the ass. Like, having to download it from source to compile it is stupid. That is absolutely dumb. You can't even do... I don't even think they have VS Code. Yeah. You can't even just download VS Code to install it. So that's just terrible. Absolutely horrible. Like, whoever thought... Like, I don't understand why they don't think that that's important. If they're trying to target people in schools, VS Code is absolutely essential, right? Like, you absolutely have to be able to get that. Fedora 36 code OSS install. We'll try it one more time in Google. In the tutorial, sudo dnf upgrade refresh. So you have to download the RPM. It is not included in the standard Fedora repositories. So you have to include their repository. And then you can only do the Visual Studio Code. You can't do code OSS. That is absolutely terrible. So VS Codium. So you still have to install this guy's RPM keys. Like, how would you know if you didn't have a website to like get all this code? Like, how would you even know this? I'm gonna see if it even works. This is absolutely stupid, though, that you have to do that. Now you have to add their GitLab repo from some guy, random, to add his GPG keys. How do you know if that's safe? Yeah, this is a huge mess. That should have been built into the repos. It's an open source application. Get it built into the repos, get it done so people can use it. There's absolutely no reason for that. So that to me is just dumb. That is just absolutely stupid. Okay, so we've got it installed, and now is it in applications? Do you have VS Codium even in here? Okay, so at least it gives you... Alright, whatever. I don't care. Shut up. Alright, so... Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, this is that's a huge mess. So yeah, if you I just could not recommend Fedora. I don't know how you use this Linux 3D and enjoy it. Like all this like extra crap to install when you could just make install something. I don't understand why they make it so complicated. Like just to get this working, I had to like install the LSASS libraries because they just weren't installed. To install Steam, you couldn't do it on their installer. Like just the basic things that you would normally do. I don't even know what version of Python are they running. Ah, okay. Well, they're using. At least they're using 3.10. But yeah, all right. Well, I mean, we got it installed. It works. Huge mess. Shout out to whoever this guy is that I don't even know. So it was the dash to dock. Where was the... Yeah, I don't even see. So yeah, the commands to do all that are just crazy. You have them do all this. Printf, GitLab.com, Paul Carity, VS Codium. Right. You're installing his repo manually just to get this to work. They should just build a version just for Fedora and have it available if they're going to have DNFs. Right? So it seems to me like this distro is just missing a lot of just some of the basic stuff that you would want. Yet it looks nice, and I mean that's great. You can polish a turd, and you can certainly make a turd look real nice, but it's still a turd. There's still way too many problems with it. So I would give this like out of 10 stars, I'd give this like a 6. It looks okay, but there's a lot of back-end problems and a lot of issues with just getting stuff set up. So. Anyways, we got it working. Got what we needed doing. You know what? I'll do one more thing before I head out. We'll try and install Chromium. Let's see how much of a pain in the ass Chromium. Yeah, well, I wouldn't consider it amazing. You can consider it amazing, but if the info on the website is not good, if the documentation is bad, if they don't have just basic stuff that everybody needs in their repos, it's useless, right? Like those things are just a problem. You cannot not have the most common stuff And having to add in something to just get VS Code, yeah, it's just bad. Like, those things you can't do if you're going to release a distro. You have to have the back end, and you have to be able to, like, install stuff, right? Like, having to go in and, like, configure stuff constantly. If I'm going to do that, I'll just do it in Arch because it's easier. I can set it up. I can go in, configure stuff. I don't have to worry about some custom package manager. The whole point of package managers is they're supposed to make all the other stuff so you don't have to configure anything, right? That's the whole reason you have package managers. So add RPM Fusion, multimedia post install, FlatHub reboot, and you have all you need. Okay, but all of those things, my point is every one of those things should already be installed by default. If that's what you need, that if you need that should already be there. What, like, if you doubt, like, I don't know enough about Fedora now to know that I need to have RPM Fusion, multimedia post install, and FlatHub reboot. But here's the problem: how do you do that? How do I install multimedia post install? If I Google that, do I have to look that up and then find the answer, and then I have to? There's no documentation out there, and there's no, like, statements out there that you need to do that. So if those things are required to make it work, then they should just be installed by default. So that's my point. And that's why we're doing this, is to find, like, what they can improve. Because I'm used to just doing Arch because I know my way around the system pretty well, and it's basically Linux, right? Yeah, so it's non-free. I get that. Yeah, that's the problem. That's exactly my problem with it. You know, like, when BSD was out, like, long ago, the reason why we used BSD all the time was because the porch tree, because the package manager was just so useful, right? You could just install, and you just looked it up, and if your dependencies were needed, it would just get them. But it's like, this is a regression in a way. So if it's non-free, then they need to make it a free version and get it done, or they need to dump their package manager. So I get it. I know why they use Fedora. I know it's a rip from Red Hat, and that's the whole thing. But it's a huge mess. Like, so for, like, a daily driver, I probably wouldn't do this one. But let's see if we get Chrome, or Chromium, which is free. Let's see if that'll install. What really got me was that I couldn't install Steam from here. That it just gave me an error, like just a random error without telling me what the problem was. And then I just went to install it through DNF, and it just worked. So I still don't know why this didn't install the Steam thing. So it's just weird that it didn't work. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, look, if you're used to Fedora and it works for you, great. I'm not, like, dissing them or saying it's bad. And I would say it's bad for a new user to use, for sure. If I was switching distros, like if I was distro hopping and this was going to be my daily driver, I'd figure it out. But I don't like spending, like, I've been on this install now for an hour and a half, and the last 2 installs I did, I was actually done in 20 minutes. And that was with the new Ubuntu 2204 and Pop! OS 2204. I was literally done and had everything I wanted. Like, my tests are basically install Chromium, Firefox, get VS Code working, and get Steam installed. If I can get those 4 things installed, then I think a new user could pretty much get around and do whatever you need to do. So it's a bug. You need to add RPM on terminal to fix the repos. Yeah, so that's the thing. And I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't know the RPM commands very well. So that's my fault. Like, I haven't really researched it. But I kind of want to take it from a position of somebody who doesn't know, right? Like, if I were to sit there and just know all the commands off the top of my head, then it doesn't really show the frustration. So it's fine. Let's see. So this opened up. We got Chrome open. And yeah, so we're good there. So Chrome opens, but it is weird that it doesn't use your kind of weird that you don't get the... Like, Firefox uses your GNOME setup, but Chromium doesn't? It just uses this ugly... like, it's not using the defaults. I wonder if that's something you have to set. Probably have to set that to use. Let's see if we can fix that. Oh, here we go. We want to use like what's in. It's just using like some default. It's not using your theme for your machine, which is kind of weird. Themes, extensions. So you could set like your own custom, I guess. Just add that, I guess. That's stupid. It's dumb that you have to do that to get that in there. Now let's see if it does that stupid background that I hate. Jesus Christ. I just went to Google. Okay, Google. I don't need to see your stupid Chrome bullshit. Like, why do they do that? Please install our thing. Alright. Look at that. I put www and it recommends Disney Plus, Yahoo, Facebook, and Bank of America. That is weird. Is that Google just auto-populating that for people? Or is that like the most common searches in the country? So the question is this them being paid to push these things? I would bet this is being paid. Because that's literally telling you log in, begin. Like that's like trying to get you to buy Disney Plus. It's weird that you'd have Yahoo right there. But I bet you Yahoo's paying for that placement. So that's funny. So that is interesting. Let's see if it does that on Firefox. Let's see if it does the same thing. So we're gonna go to Google. We'll type www. Completely different results. Completely different results. Look at that. That is funny. And that's on the free version, right? Oh, and you know what? Let's check something else out. Let's see if we can take Chromium and just drag it in here. Okay, yeah, so that works. So that dash thing is pretty cool. Smells like euros. Oh, and this is so ugly. This background is so ugly. Oh my god, that's so ugly. Trying to set as default. God, that is terrible. If only I could change that so the theme didn't have bits and pieces and it was just the color. That is just awful. That's what I wanted, it was just that. Alright, let's just do that, just black. Let's reopen it. Hopefully that fixes it. Ah, that's better. But I wish Chrome would just use your GTK settings, right? Like, it should read that and put that in. Like, that would, you would think that they would just want to do that. But yeah, this is, I mean, it works. And I do not like that I can't just get VS Code and I have to use this code VS Codium. Or I can't get Code OSS. So I have to use this custom version that's been rebuilt, which, I mean, I guess it's fine. It's just another thing to think about, like, you have to know to do. So, not so great. But yeah, I do think, like, you were saying, Linux 3, you need to add these 3 things. Do we have gedit? We do have gedit. Okay, cool. Oh, it's uninstalled. Okay, let's install it. I do like that. Like, it pulled up gedit pretty quick. It installed it. I kind of like gedit. I just like the way it's set up. Let's change the colors because that's going to drive me crazy. Fonts and colors. Let's just do solarized. That's good. Preferences. Let's turn on line numbers. Oh, okay, they are on. Okay. And fonts. They're tiny, so. There we go. All right, so you were saying you need to do RPM Fusion, multimedia, post-install, and FlatHub reboot. So those are the things you would need. So if we were going to do RPM Fusion, how would we install that? Provide software that Fedora and Red Hat does not want to ship. Okay, so how do you install it? Release. Well, there's the source. So you need to go here, get the non-free. Okay, that doesn't let me download it. I always thought I was just going to download the source, but I guess not. First, enable access to the free repo for users of GPK. You got to go in here, you got to install that. So you use DNF install that, I'm assuming. It's not tab. Okay, there it's tab completing. Jesus. Okay. So you got to do that one. Done. Okay, so that's installed. Once you open the file, package code without complaint. Well, yeah, we installed all that. Okay, so we've done that. So we added RPM Fusion, and then you would need to install multimedia post install. Hope if I spelled multi properly. Need a non-free. Oh, you're right. I thought I installed the non-free. I literally selected that when I installed it. That's weird. I wonder why it's not. I literally picked the non-free. Hold on, let me find it again. Where was it? Yeah, this is way too much crap. Where was it? Installing free and non-free. Oh, I hit this one. I should have done this one. Gotcha. Okay. Is it gonna do it? Can we do? Okay, there we go. Why does that say free? God damn it. Okay. Let's do this again. One of these days. Non-free Fedora 36. Okay. There we go. There we go. I don't know. I'm assuming it'll work. Oh, let's do it. There we go. It's installed. Okay. Now, let's find this. So if you were doing this, you have to do Fedora multimedia post install. Is this a script? I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, everything is a battle. It's just a huge mess to try and get stuff working. So these are multimedia codecs, I'm assuming. It's on the same page. It was on the RPM Fusion thing. Oh, here. Okay. So you have to go through and do all this. So after you've done that, you do the AppStream metadata. Wow. Yeah. So we got to run that. And then you got to do the multimedia post install. Yeah, it's a lot of different settings. So we got to go through and run all these step by step. Yeah, so again, all this stuff should already be done. Or it should give you an option to just script it. Like you should get like a pop-up and say, do you want to do all these installs? They are non-free, blah, 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 right? Should have to do all this crap. $50 packages to install, 125 megs. That's amazing, like how many different things you've got to install just to get the thing working. And the big problem is that you need to know where to go on the internet to find this answer too, right? And you're also relying on them to make sure it's up to date. And if there's a problem with their system, you're not going to know because you don't know what you're installing. You can't look at the package file real easy and just see what's being done. FlatHub reboot. I wonder if they have a... I wonder if Fedora has a easy distro builder like you can do in Arch, where it's like Arch ISO, where you can basically customize your install. If you could do that, you could write a script that does all this stuff for you. So when you install it, just does it all. That would be better. Then you could like create your own kind of spin of it and change around a few of the settings. I'm sure you could probably do it. But without having to download the whole ISO, if you could build your own based off like... In Arch ISO, you can like clone the Arch ISO installer and then just edit certain files and then it'll just install what you want. Which is what I like to do. I like to just build my own distro and then I can just install it on whatever system. And that way you can customize the packages to install on a script right at the beginning. So that would be a good solution to this if you could do something like that. Or if they had like a Calamari installer or something for Fedora that you could modify, that might be a way to do it. So that might be a cool update to do. What are you doing? FlatHub reboot? So is FlatHub reboot a... or is that just a command you were saying and run? I guess not a command. So it's something you were saying to download? Probably need, after all that stuff, you probably just have to reboot the machine. Alright. I guess I could have just done that through terminal, huh? And that's another thing. I don't understand why distros don't put terminal in the goddamn application bar, so you can just do this. It's so much easier. There was like a discussion the other day. I saw like on my Twitter I was posting about it, like everybody like complains about having to use the terminal in Linux, and there's always this discussion like terminal shouldn't be necessary, and it's like, yes, terminal is always necessary. You should always have terminal available for all users all the time. There should never be a time where you don't have the terminal as easily accessible for a user. Okay. So now everything's installed. So it looks like now we could actually use the system. So that's good. Oh, you know what we'll look for real quick? We'll look for KDN Live and see if that's even possible to install in here. Yep. Let's see if it actually installs. After this, after we get KDN Live installed, I am going to have to call it a day because I actually have to go do real things. I got to go do work and do my life. But yeah, it's been fun. Definitely an interesting install today. Started at 3:12. We're at 5:15. We just now finally got Fedora set up, so it took 2 hours to configure it. If Linux 3D here hadn't been telling me about all those different things, I probably would not have figured that out for like a week. So yeah, so basically what that does is the RPM fusion basically merges all the different options from all the different RPM repositories into one big bundle. Is that basically what that does? Boy, it's taking forever to install KDN Live, isn't it? Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by and showing me that. That's useful. I've been banging my head against the wall for a bit on it. But basically, kind of the whole point of this stream is to see in a couple hours if you can get a Linux distro working with like just the basic stuff to find out if there's any problems. Next time you'd install in 10 minutes. Maybe. And that's definitely possible. Oh, wow, that's awful. Oh, it's so bright. That is what it is. KDE, it looks a lot better. Here's what KDN Live looks like on KDE. Yeah, it's so much better. It just looks so much better because it reads the configuration and stuff from your background for your setup. So, but anyways, yeah, we're gonna call it tonight. Thanks for watching the stream. I gotta go get some real life stuff done, and you know, we'll mess around next day or two. We'll find another distro to install where I can bang my head against the wall and be upset. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.